Wonderful. Well, welcome to the Mental Margarita Show. Wendy Marcisofsky is with us, owner and founder of Cat Books in Henderson. How are you?
I'm good. It's a hot one today, but I'm in a nice air-conditioned building, so it's all good.
That's the beautiful thing about Las Vegas and the Valley is there's always somewhere to escape the heat, and your shop is a wonderful place to do that. And we're going to talk more about that so people know everything that you have going on at Cat Books, which I'm excited to share.
Wonderful. We want everybody to know about us because it's a labor of love.
It has to be, and we're going to go into more detail about that because you've been doing this for some time now. And before all the books happened, we'll go back to the beginning for a moment. You hail originally from Vermont,
I do.
and and then you ended up in New York before coming west. So tell us a little bit about kind of growing up and the early years.
Well, growing up in Vermont is truly a treasure that a lot of people don't get to have. I'm a child of the late 50s, and the big thing when you were a little kid was you better be within hollering distance when you're outside, and you better come home when the street lights come on. And there was a group of us that lived what we said down on our street, and we would all play outside from morning till nighttime and didn't come in till we had to. It was a wonderful growing up opportunity, and I wouldn't change it for anything.
It's wonderful to hear you say that. I can agree with the needing to be within earshot. If mom or dad called and you didn't come on the first time, they'd call again. And if you didn't come after the second time, you're going to be in trouble. So,
Yeah, unless they knew that you were somewhere else, like inside having lunch with a friend or something, as long as they knew where you were at.
right. And gosh, just playing outside seems to be like a rare thing nowadays. I mean, I was outside constantly. I had my bicycle or my roller skates, but my mother would send me out. There was no reason to be indoors when the weather was nice, and if it wasn't, you'd be dressed for it. So,
Absolutely. We rode bikes, we played badminton and kickball and hide and seek and um oh, what's the other one with the little picks? Croquet, and we just were outside all the times. We dug tunnels in the sand and we'd put ants down in them to see if they'd come out the other side. We were imaginative.
and that's a key word. And that leads us into this great conversation about the business you're in. Now, you also along the way, you met your husband Anthony, whom you just recently celebrated your 30th wedding anniversary. Congratulations.
We did. He stuck with me for 30 years. I've got to give him credit because I can be challenging. But
And we and relationships take work, you know, and you two have spent most of your life together, and that's a beautiful thing.
well, he's a really, really good guy. I couldn't ask for anybody better.
So fast forward, what brought you to Las Vegas area? How did that happen?
I was an independent trainer for a software company, and I was traveling all around the Northeast and, well, the eastern part of the state, basically east of the Mississippi. And they said, if you lived in Vegas, we could give you more training. So I pretty much became their trainer for the whole country, including I even went to Bermuda and a few different places, and I loved
Mhm.
it. I was really good at it, and Anthony helped me with it as well. And we wrote a training manual of 2,200 pages. And about 6 or 7 years after we moved here, there was a huge change in staffing at the company, and I kind of lost the opportunity because I got a little bit stubborn about the fee they were paying me. But I loved it. And then we just stayed after, and I did consulting for a while, and then I worked for an accounts receivable firm for 11 years. And he started with his trucking, which is a story in itself and part of how we came up with the name for our store. But he went to school to become a truck driver, and the day he got his CDL, we won a truck on eBay, and he
Wow.
flew all the way to South Carolina to pick it up. So about 3 days into having his license, he's coming cross country with a new truck. Well, it was a used truck, but new to us, that he had picked up in Pickens, South Carolina. And we did that for a number of years till diesel became too expensive.
Wow. And how fortunate to be able to find a rig, so soon after him being ready to be on the road, you know?
Yeah, that was pretty entertaining to he had his license 17 hours and off he went to South Carolina. And then when he got there, he calls me and he says, they've got a trailer that goes with it that we could do dirt work with. And I said, okay, if you can bring it home. So we came home with the trailer, and that was kind of the start of Coppercat Transport.
Okay. So now I'm seeing all the dots are connecting, the stars are lining up. So so now you're on the West Coast. So this love of books though had to have started somewhere. Was that always with you?
I was read to as a little girl and read forever. If I went away for a weekend, I would take the book I'm reading plus two more just in case I finished because I didn't want to run out. So I've loved reading my whole life. And Anthony also is an avid reader. So between the two of us, we had talked about a couple of stores that became available here that just didn't work out. And then we were going to move to Florida, to the east coast of Florida, and there was a bookstore down there. And we had a house that we were going to buy that had an in-laws apartment, and things kind of fell apart because my dad's health started to go, and
Hmm.
we weren't able to make that happen. But when it was all said and done, we said we're still going to try to do this. And we decided the best way to get exactly what we wanted was to open our own and set it up just as we envisioned it.
And you opened in 2017.
Yes,
And
December 10th.
have you always been there in Henderson, the store?
Yeah, this is our only space other than a warehouse. We have a warehouse in Boulder City that has almost 80,000 books in it, and about 60,000 are inventoried and searchable. So if we don't have something in the store, we can search there, and maybe we'll have it in the warehouse for someone.
And I was also reading, you do a lot with the community and for local authors and people as well, providing opportunities for them to do book signings and launches and creating a safe, quiet space for people to come and enjoy and sit and read. And also, being able to find things that are out of print. So, you have a just databases that you're able to access through all your years of experience doing this.
I've learned an awful lot, and we have what we call the wish list. So if
Mm.
someone has a book that they're looking for that we can't find immediately because it's out of print, I go through, there's about 500 books I'm actively looking for at any given time. And I've found
Wow.
books that literally haven't been printed for decades. And when I find them, people are just overjoyed and they'll come in. That looks just like the one I had when I was a little girl, or that's
Mm.
exactly what I was looking for. And I just love it. And people told me at one point, oh, don't do something like that because they'll just buy that one book. But if that one book makes them happy and fulfills something in them that was a little hole that's now filled up, I love that. And
Mhm.
the look on their face when they see what they've got. There was a fellow one time that was looking for a book called Follow My Leader, which I had read as a little girl. And I found a first edition, first printing hardcover. And when it came in, his wife was sitting out in the car, and he had me go out to the car and hand her the book that he'd purchased for her because he was so excited for me to see how pleased she was going to be. And there's an awful lot of satisfaction in that.
There is, and you're restoring a great memory, or something that's of sentiment. Maybe someone remembers something from a parent or someone they had lost. And
Mhm.
that book, books were a part of my life growing up, and I was read to. And as soon as I could get my hands on books to read them myself, I I was the kid that checked out as many as you could out of the library.
Many as you could
It
carry.
Yes,
I know how
yes,
that
and
goes. Do you have a
and
favorite book?
my favorite book actually of all time is Moby Dick,
Okay.
and I've always been fascinated by water. So Tales of the Sea and those type of adventures always catch my attention. Um, then of course I have, different, I like crime writing. Anne Rule is a favorite real true crime writer that I love. Um, I like reading real stories, but I love fiction. I like to escape too sometimes. And so it's just if it grabs me right away, it can be anything.
Mm-hmm.
So
Everybody's got a niche that's their favorite, but most of the people that come into the store will read a wide breadth of things. But usually they'll stick to either nonfiction or fiction. You don't get a lot of crossover with that.
I saw
We
you have a large collection of DVDs and things.
Yep, we have about 2,000 movies. Some of those are in the warehouse, and then we have a big bin of them because we're selling them very reasonable, $2 or $3 a piece. And we've got some movie promo packs too that also are things that people collect that were sent out when movies were being promoted to the press and TV shows. We've got an awful lot of mix of things in here, gifts and reading opportunities, audio visual. We do have some books on CD and tape as
And
well.
books make a great gift too, because
Hmm.
especially in your store where things are so unique, there's one of a kind items, things you're not going to find in all the other places. So it's very special, and you have some things that you do throughout the year. Tell us about, well, first I want to know about you and cats. So if someone comes into the store, they are going to see a cat, aren't they?
Occasionally, we had a
Okay.
cat that we adopted from Boulder City Shelter in 2023. Right about now, it was towards the end of June, and he was 3 years old and had been in the shelter half of his life. So we thought, well, we'll make him a store cat. And he was here for 4 or 5 months. And one night I was leaving, and I can't hear him, of course, but he's on the other side of the glass, and all I could see was his mouth going. So called my husband and I said, "Put the other cats away. I'm bringing Mickey home." And so Mickey is the store kitty that ended up being a house kitty, but he does come occasionally. And we have another cat, Cheddar, that we're trying to convince it would be a good idea to come and do an occasional appearance. But I've
That's
had
fun.
cats forever. Um, I love cats, and they're gentle and they're empathetic, and I love dogs too. Any animal that I have has to have fur on it. I'm not a snake or lizard person.
And neither one of those groups would get along with each other either. So
Yeah, probably not.
now I was reading about like spring fling. You've had some events, romance at the store. What are some of your seasonal things you have throughout the year? And you do a gigantic sale during the year at the warehouse too, where people can come out there and look at all that you have there.
We have we've had Spring Fling, Summer Sizzle, Romance at the Cat, and we invite several authors or artists to come and participate. And then we'll have snacks. We've had live music, and it's a way for authors to present their story and their books, and also a way for customers to meet several different kinds of authors at one time. We're going to have a fairy festival, a
Ooh.
fairy and fantasy festival in the fall. And we were going to have Christmas in July, but we lost track of Santa. So That's not quite going to happen. But we also have, you had mentioned book launches. We've got lots of authors that do book launches here. And when we do, we have fun. We roll out a red carpet with the velvet ribbon and make a big thing of them walking the red carpet. And it's just, we try to make it really fun. We have little giveaways that we give to the kids when they come in, sunglasses for the summer, and we give moms a little paper fan to help keep them cool. Things that hopefully will make people remember that reading is fun and bookstores are fun. It's not just some stuffy place to go. We just try to make everything fun here and enjoyable. And you had mentioned sitting areas. We've got lots of sitting areas around where people can just find a cozy corner. And actually, this weekend we have a pet adoption. Once a month, we
Oh,
have a cat and kitten adoption, and that happens to be this weekend coming up. So, and I have a very hard time not taking any home, but so far I've held off.
it's hard because, we want to keep them from a worse end, and they all deserve to be loved and have a forever home.
Mhm.
So we'll make sure that we keep updated on that so that we can tell the audience so they can participate and they can come out and be part of that and help out because we need as many people as we can, even foster homes too for pets,
They
until
do.
they can find a forever family. Well, that's why the community involvement and getting people involved, our neighbors, is so important. And if everybody gives a little bit, there'll be enough. So
Yes, yes. You put a drop in the bucket and a drop in a bucket and a drop in the bucket, and before you know it's full.
you're right about that. I want to divert for a second. I have a question, something I want to run by you. What's your feelings? These days with technology, the way that things are always progressing, which have lots of benefits. But what are your feelings on people writing books using AI, where they're using these other tools? And I'm an artist and an author, so I have a little bit of a having a hard time grasping this concept as it being okay to not have an original thought.
My gut and my head and my heart tell me it's cheating. I can't think of an if you've got a story to tell and you want to reach out to somebody and say I've got this story and I'm kind of stuck, and you're getting human interaction and they're giving you maybe some thoughts, but I don't even look for AI and it comes up all the time when I do searches. And it
Mhm.
is handy. I have to say it's pretty handy, but to take something that's intended to be original thought and it's intended to be your original thoughts and taking what a computer presents to you, that just doesn't seem authentic. It wouldn't, if I knew somebody wrote an AI book, I would just think it wouldn't be authentic because I wouldn't know how much is them and how much is the AI.
Right. So it remains to be seen if there'll be some kind of, regulatory thing to protect people that have creative works that are truly creative works, you know, original works. So I'm just, I've been asking people as I go, what their thoughts are on that. Like I said, I'm still in a little bit trouble grasping it, and there are many benefits, in lots of different areas. So it's not completely bad, but there's always going to be something that's used maybe not as it's intended.
Hmm. Well, Albert Einstein said something, and I'm sure I won't get the quote right, but he said there was going to come a day when computers and machines were going to overtake the intellectual ability of man, and basically, heaven help us when that day comes. And I think we're really close to it because it
Hmm.
said that human brains wouldn't be able to grasp the speed with which computers and machines could do things, and we would lose ourselves by not understanding how everything was happening. And I think we're pretty close to there.
You may be right.
We have some
There's
very, very cool stuff. Um, Well, I'm going to just say one more because I think this one's so fascinating. We have a full set of Encyclopedia Britannica, which doesn't sound very exciting, but it's from 1790 when George
Wow.
Washington was still president. I just think that's so cool. And you hold it in your hands and you don't know who else has held it in their hands. And it's printed on vellum, which is cotton and linen, and every single character was hand set. And it's, I think, 16 or 18 volumes. The labor to produce that is so unimaginable. And I have one in my store.
Wow. That's, I mean, it's a piece of history right there. So,
Mm-hmm.
you've been entrusted, and this is a passion obviously for you, but you've been entrusted to keep and preserve things that otherwise would be discarded and forgotten. It's just, there's so many things to explore. So we want people to come to the store. We want them to spend some time visiting, and definitely, folks, before you go shopping for your next gift for birthday or loved one, stop in the bookstore, and Coppercat Books could be your destination for that one of a kind unique item that you may not find anywhere else. And I have one other question for you, Miss Wendy. The name of our show is Mental Margarita. I'm pretty sure we know what yours is, but the Mental Margarita is people following their passion, their getaway, when they need to find center, kind of reconnect with themselves. What's your mental margarita? What do you like to do that kind of brings you back to yourself, and or you need to get away from it all?
Actually, probably spending time with my husband. I told him that the best part of my day is when he walks through the door at the end of the night when he gets home. And that might sound mushy or overly romantic, but we have such a good relationship that I don't feel whole or complete until I'm with him. So any time that I spend with him, he centers me. And we don't have to be talking. We could just both be sitting reading. We could be sitting watching something on the tube, or just sharing a meal. It's just I'm really, really blessed to have him.
And that you obviously found your soulmate, and that's so wonderful and so special. So congratulations again, you two. We're excited for you, and what a wonderful thing to say and to
Well,
let
it's the
other people
truth.
know about.
The truth is always easy to say. You don't have to remember what you said.
This is true. For
Yes.
sure. So, Miss Wendy, how do you prefer people contact you? We obviously want them to come in the store. They can also visit the website, coppercatbooks.com, and they can call you, right?
We have a generic email for people that are just looking to kind of reach out. It's sales-info@coppercatbooks.com. If they want to reach me personally, it's Wendy@coppercatbooks.com. And we're also on Facebook. They can message there. We're on Instagram, TikTok. We just started a YouTube channel. So there's lots of ways to reach out. Probably one of the best ways is just pop in someday during the opening, the hours the store is open, and whoever is here is going to give you the best service you'll ever find.
That's great. And speaking of TikTok, you recently were part of a video that went viral involving a skateboard. Tell us about that real quick.
I'm still laughing about that because somebody reached out to me this morning that from Vermont and told me they'd seen it on Reddit. But a few months ago, there was a young man that was skateboarding off the end of our sidewalk and doing about a 4 foot drop, trying to land on the skateboard. And I know a lot of people kind of frown upon that, but he was just doing his thing. So I went out and he kind of asked me, was I going to boot him out? I said, no, I just want to make sure nobody bothers you. And I didn't realize they were doing a video. And when he finally nailed it, I went, woohoo! And he came up and he hugged me. And I said, you got to do it again. And somebody says, yeah, she knows, too to be true. And so they posted it. And all of a sudden, I was getting all these hits on our TikTok for Skateboard Granny. And his video has seen almost 1 million views, and we've had some that have had a few thousand. So we're pretty excited that I'm TikTok famous, I guess.
That you are. And you know what? And you said a good point. People do frown on skateboarding, but it's a healthy outlet for our youth. They could be out there doing a lot worse things. So when they're doing something like that, they're being active. And in that video, 'cause we'll see if we can show a little bit of it. He wipes out the first two times, and then he
He
gets it right.
does. He
So
does. And then, yep, he just, boom, he landed it. And I just was, because I was just waiting. I knew he wasn't going to stop till he did it. And it was fun. I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but I've got his site linked so I can watch it and see what he's up to.
Hey.
Yeah, what did he say? 2 to make it through. No, you gotta do one more. I wanna see that you get 20. All right.
One more?
Thank you so much for having me and talking so nicely about our sweet little bookstore.
Well, books are very dear to my heart, so I'm so glad you're part of this show and we're able to share what you do with everyone. So thank you, Miss Wendy, and we'll be in touch soon.
Alrighty, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
You too. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Curiosity didn't kill the cat, it just went to Coppercat Books, Henderson's only independent bookstore with the largest selection of books, movies, gifts, graphic novels, and more. Coppercat Books is located at 1570 West Horizon Ridge Parkway, Suite 170, Henderson, Nevada. For more information, call 702-567-2666 or visit coppercatbooks.com.
You're starstruck, here's a sprinkle of the stardust. Hold your champagne glass and your cigars up. See the guys with mob ties drive the cars up. Bright lights, most nights they buy the bars up. Candy coated Chevy cars on the highway. It's Frankie baby, it's on and this is my way. Dean Martin at the Sands this Friday. With Sammy Davis, here's a little hint where I stay.